Hi, it's Matt here from Go Green Autos. So this is my MG ZS EV and I'm the second owner. And the previous keeper had changed the reversing lights here to LED. And I'm not too happy with them. They're pretty poor because there's very little light when I'm looking in my rear view mirror. And stuff at the back here is just not being lit up, and I struggle at night to reverse. So I'm going to go back to the original bulbs. So I've got one of the lamp clusters out here and it's in the boot here, and I know that he's put Osram bulbs in it because he left me the cards, and they are quite interesting looking LED bulbs. I've never seen an LED bulb quite like that. So it's obviously emitting light out the sides a little bit and pointing to the front, and what I assume is happening is with LED obviously you get more light, but it's probably pushing all the light out and it's not pushing it back and using the reflector. And that's the problem you get with switching to LED a lot of the time, is you get very focused light. And obviously in this case it's quite a lot of light, but quite a narrow beam going out. Whereas actually a normal old-fashioned bulb, it's almost a 360-degree light output, and it's hitting the reflector, so you're getting a wider, less powerful, but a wider beam of light. And I'm suspecting that the reversing lights are going to work better with the old bulb. So I'm going to go back to conventional W16W bulbs, which are those. So yeah, if that's focusing, there you can see the difference. The LED, the original. So I've got the original bulb back in there, and this side has got the LED bulb in still. So I'm going to jump in the car and see whether we can see any difference, but I'm not expecting the camera to pick up the difference. I'm going to have to test it in real situations and test it tonight. Obviously I'm going to switch that bulb back to the original as well, but let me just jump in the car and see whether we can see a difference. So this is the LED bulb, and I can certainly see the bulb. It does seem to be reflecting off the back reflector, but the bulb is certainly brighter because obviously it's pushing that light forward and there is less light going on the reflector, but it looks alright. And this one is the incandescent bulb, and certainly when you get level with it there's more light coming from the reflector and you can't see the bulb quite so much. You can just see a little line where the filament is. But going back at a distance, if I crouch so I'm level, they look very similar, to be honest. But anyway, I'll try it at night, and well, obviously I'll change that one to an incandescent bulb. I'll try it this evening and see if there's any difference. So I tested the reversing lights last night. I left the incandescent bulb in this side and the LED in this side, just so I could see a difference in the rear view mirrors when I was reversing, because my driveway at home is very tight and it's got hedgerows both sides. And there's absolutely no light, and I share it with a neighbour and they park their cars along it as well, so I have to be very careful reversing. And there's only an inch or two either side of your wing mirrors, and it's very easy to end up dragging the hedgerows along the side of the cars if you're not straight. So that's why I sort of want good reversing lights. But I find in this MG ZS they're worse than any other car I've had. And I can only assume it's because of the height of the light, whereas most cars the lights tend to be a little bit lower. So it wasn't any difference last night. One side was absolutely no difference to the other. So I've done a little bit of research, and the LED bulbs, these Osram, they are the Premium SL, so they are very good bulbs. I looked up on their website, and these are actually 230 lumens, 600k, 3 watt. So then I thought, well, okay, how many lumens is a standard bulb? I've got these Neolux bulbs. They're German, they should be quite good, but anyway, on their website they didn't state the lumens. But I had a look at the Osram site and looked at what their standard glass wedge W16W bulb is, and they state 310 lumens. So I'm assuming this is the same because they're all pretty standard, these incandescent bulbs. So actually the old incandescent bulb is giving slightly higher output than the LED, 310 versus 230. Obviously these give a more yellow light, but they have the other advantage is the light is more distributed with these, so it probably works better with a reflective light assembly like on these reversing lights. So yeah, for now I'm going to go back to incandescent on both sides. There is absolutely no advantage to upgrading to LED. If anything, as I've just shown there, the light output is slightly less and you get that more focal light on LED, so they're probably a little bit worse. But reality is I couldn't tell any difference when reversing, so I need to look at something else. So I've had a look at what other options there are to upgrade the reversing lights, and there are other higher output LEDs with a higher lumen figure. The problem is a lot of these cheap Chinese LEDs, they make these claims and probably don't stand up. Also, they're larger LEDs. You don't want to start melting the plastic lens, and higher output also means higher heat, so you've got to be a bit careful with them. So yeah, a bit of a fail this video really, but I've proved there's no real advantage of putting LEDs in your reversing lights. And okay, they're going to be a whiter light and they're going to draw less power, but it's not like you're driving around backwards all the time. You're only in reverse for a few seconds or so. So yeah, for now I'll stick with incandescent. As I said, I think the problem is the height of the lights means that the light from the reversing lights just isn't getting to the ground, and that's what's not helping me. So I guess the only other option would be to add some secondary LED reversing lights at the bottom, but that's going to look ugly, and in reality I'm not really going to want to do that on this. But I have done something similar on our recovery truck. I had exactly the same problem. I couldn't reverse that down our drive, and actually with that I used to have to reverse down the whole lane to get out. So particularly when there was a vehicle on the back of the truck, I just couldn't see. The manufacturer's reversing lights just wasn't good enough, so I added some extra LED reversing lights angled out sideways, and that's transformed it, and that really does work. I also noticed Tesco food delivery vans have exactly the same lights on as well. So I guess that's the only option, add secondary lights, but in reality I'm not really going to do that to this car, so I'll just have to persevere. So anyway, I hope you like that video, and if you have, do click that thumbs up, because that really does help the YouTube algorithms and helps people find the channel, and more videos coming soon.